Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series we are starting called DreamCreate, which has been written and inspired by Ronald Bownes. And a big warm welcome back to you. It's been a very long time, but good to have you here. So yeah, please tell us a little bit more about DreamCreate, this new series that you've been thinking about and mulling over the past couple of months now.
Thank you. As the DreamXchange platform has expanded, we're now over 310,000 people on the platform, and with the tertiary education coming on board this year, we hope to reach at least 1 million. Some of the corporate organizations, and particularly the tertiary education institutions, have said to us, have you got any soft skills you're offering? Because you know our members are going to come on there, our students are going to come on there and go, okay, we can look for opportunities, create, offer, do self-videos of ourselves, put projects together, but are you offering any soft skills? And our answer at the time was no. And then we thought, we don't want to offer soft skills, we want to offer this opportunity of how do we give our members, students, unemployed people, self-employed, some insights into the creative process. That's why it's called DreamCreate. And how do we put across some issues quite simply in terms of, I'm going to create a new product for myself, I'm going to create a new service, I want to put that out into the marketplace. And there are lots of courses which go, okay, these are the 5 steps, these are the 10 rules, and this is how you create something. And we go, no, let's take that soft skills element and say, how do we bring the creative element of what's often unseen? And that's what we're going to try and explore over the next series of videos. How do we get people to start understanding in their own quiet way that they can create something from within? And so some of the principles we're going to share over this period about a very simple concept that you are a fantastic creator, you are a magnificent creator as a human being. You just don't know that necessarily. Maybe it's been kind of churched out of you, spanked out of you, but we'll come to that in future. And how do we get people to just start understanding that every single one of us on this planet is a creative being? I mean, there's a lovely poet called Rumi, and his work has been well documented, and he just says, when you know the universe is inside of you, when you know the primary creator is inside of you, you will have all the creative capacity that you have at your fingertips. And so we're going to look at as an introductory video now, how do we start having a few pools of wisdom, having a few insights dropping into our own psyche and own consciousness. So we're going to look at the areas of the power within. So it really is a question of, and we'll ask you every single video, is, you know, what are you doing about being a magnificent creator now? What are you doing about an inspired creator now? So we're going to look at the various issues of freedom. Freedom ignites creativity. We're going to look at the concept of innovation. We're going to look at the concept of that this creativity comes from within. We're going to look at the concept of how does passion form a role in your creative life? How do we look at the energies and the flows of circulation? The big thing, you know, what goes out there comes back to you. It comes back many, many times. What role does prosperity play? Because the more you prosper, the more you create. The more you're free, the more you create. The more you create, the freer you become. And so you see people walking around and they're on fire, and you wonder, how does a guy like Elon Musk just come up with these constant ideas? How do we learn from people who have created the most amazing things over the last few centuries of documented history? And what inspired them? What ignited that? And often it's very, very simple. It's not like sitting down and putting a master strategy in 15 rooms and scientifically doing it. It's just that simple idea. How do we bring that across?
So are these videos more about, instead of looking externally for something to be passionate about, people always say, oh, what's your passion? They start talking about maybe a job that they're doing or what they're studying, not necessarily what's actually within them necessarily. So are these videos going to be based more about using your own internal sort of tools to kind of allow yourself to be open to follow things that you are actually genuinely more passionate about, rather than what maybe your parents or the school system or someone else or the world is saying you should do this or you should be passionate about this?
Absolutely spot on. So we want to say, often the creative idea, A, is within you, and B, it's one step away from starting to become something real in the world. I mean, there's a lovely old allegorical tale from Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now, one of the most read books in the last 30, 40 years. And he tells a story of a beggar on the street who's sitting on a box. And every day the beggar asks for money, and people pop a few coins into the hat. And the person who passes him consistently is a very rich man, puts nothing in the hat. So eventually the guy says, sitting on the box, the beggar grabs him by the arm the one day and says, but you put nothing in. And the chap looks at him and says, the treasure is probably closer than you think that you really want. Not the coins in your hat, but the real treasure of your life. And the beggar thinks, oh, what a silly man, he's rich and he doesn't want to share anything. And after a couple of weeks, he's sitting on the box, and he goes, I've been sitting on this box for many years. Now what? Let me look inside the box. And inside the box, 15 bags of gold sitting there. And it's an allegorical tale which says most of creativity, most of something that's going to really spur something great is going to be right inside of you. You're sitting on it, it's right there. And you've got to go within, you've got to ignite your power. And so as we move into kind of the first concept of what we want to share with you is that you have the divine infinite all inside of you. That is unlimited, that is infinite, that is expansive, and that is magic. And you've got to work with that and say, okay, I am a magical creator. I've come onto this planet to do some amazing things. Not what my parents wanted to do, or the school wanted me to do, but something really great. And how can I ignite that? You've got to spend some time, people pray, people meditate, it doesn't really matter, but it's got to come from a quiet time. And that's what we have to do. You've got to dream big and imagine big. And so we're going to walk our viewers through a couple of interesting insights and energies. So we're all sitting on that box of gold, all of us. And that box of gold, you're not physically sitting on that box of gold inside of you. The diamond is waiting to be polished, the gold's waiting to come out. And so DreamCreate is going to be all about how do we individually and collectively become magnificent creators. Because as we create out into the world, so it comes back to us exponentially, and so it goes out. We'll cover all these topics as the videos unfold, but it's just, we've used that energy. We want to share that energy with everybody else. But am I a magnificent creator every day I wake up? If you don't feel the world supporting you, well, it's not going to, because you've got to create from the inside out. Then you'll watch the world change in front of you.
Well, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm sure all of you that have been watching our videos, we know that we have quite a lot of diverse content, self-employment stories, as well as all this that's going to come from DreamCreate. So if you are, if you've been following us for a while, if you like this kind of content, please just keep watching. There's going to be a lot more where this came from, and I'm excited to see what else comes out of these videos, and yeah, just be inspired. Yeah.
Thank you.